MSMEs are lifeblood communities and important drivers of growth for large companies. But for most companies, the struggle is enormous as they face series of challenges in moving forward. Hello and welcome to Let's Talk. My name is Olusegun with the topic to how to strengthen the MSME ecosystem. My guest is Mr. Olusegun Dada, CEO, Ideas Center Faculty. But before we delve into the program proper, as usual, I'd like to remind you to please subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on all of our social media platforms. Thank you for always watching Let's Talk. Enjoy the ride with us. Thank you so much for joining me, sir. Could you please give us a breakdown of what MSME and ecosystem is all about?
The entrepreneurs, that's the owners of businesses, the businesses by themselves, the value chain that they represent is what we call the MSME sector. That's the micro, small, medium enterprises sector of the Nigerian economy or any country's economy. It is instructive to know that that sector contributes in Nigeria at least 45% of the gross GDP, and employs close to 70% of employed people in Nigeria. In Nigeria, we have over 42 million MSMEs, that's micro, small, medium enterprises. But out of this, the micro on its own contributes about 90 to 95% of the total numbers of MSMEs in Nigeria. Right now, there's a new nomenclature that's been added to the MSME sector, and that is the nano. Those are people that are smaller than micro businesses. Mostly when you have a organizer by the street, a mechanic, if you ask them a question, they will tell you that they are also in business, so they have to be captured, even though nearly 100% of this operate within the informal sector of the Nigerian economy. We have to distinguish between the informal and the formal sector. Informal sector really means businesses that are not registered, that do not have an official presence with the regulatory agencies like the Corporate Affairs Commission. That is, they are not registered. Those are the people that we call the informal, those operating in the informal sector. I want to stick to the MSME environment instead of calling it the NMSME environment, because the nano is a new nomenclature, so to speak. So, but everybody understands when you say MSMEs. So when we talk about the MSME ecosystem, we mean every organization, every people, every business, every professional operating within that sector. They go inclusive of government, inclusive of service providers and business professionals, even professionals like lawyers, like IT people that provide services that work within that ecosystem. Then again, we're not just talking about people, we're not just talking about businesses within that sector. We also talk about how the MSMEs, how they interact, the mode of interaction between and among MSMEs defines what we call the MSME ecosystem, so to speak.
Okay, so how important is this MSME to any economy?
They are basically the employers of labor. Most developed countries, developed now, they don't joke with the MSME environment. We often tell people that a growth or a movement along the chain from micro to small to medium, then to large businesses is an indicator of development in any specific any specific economy, so to speak. I hope you understand what I'm saying.
Yes.
So the quantum movement will indicate how solid or how competitive an economy is. How buoyant the economy is. Once the environment is well structured, the environment is well defined, where the environment is competitive, let me use that word again, where the environment has a lot of markets, the possibility is there for businesses to move from micro to small, from small to medium, and from medium to large. Now, how do you identify an economy with a lot of problems? Wherever you see micro businesses dying, that they do not have the ability to develop, to grow, maybe grow in terms of employment, grow in terms of output, grow in terms of revenue, and grow in terms of even CSR, the amount of corporate social responsibilities they do around. It is an indicator of a problematic business or MSME environment. So the possibility of growing determines how buoyant or how good a particular economy is. So that shows the significance of the MSME ecosystem. And that is why developed countries in this case, they focus so much on that sector, because it is the sector that actually gives out the needed information to be able to determine if there is a problem in an economy or if the economy is actually growing. The ability to produce more means that small businesses or micro businesses are growing. I hope you understand. The ability to produce primary, secondary, and finished products will show how buoyant that particular sector of the economy is. So developed countries do not joke with their MSME environment. Whenever there is any problem, the MSME environment are usually the target sector. When I say the target sector, when it comes to the issue of tax holidays, tax reductions, interventions, initiatives, and so much more that such economy needs. They target the MSME environment.
Now, talking more on challenges, what are the challenges MSMEs face? You actually mentioned some, but I want us to actually talk more on it, especially with the difficult market environment.
Well, I believe we're talking about the Nigerian environment now. So I'm going to focus on the Nigerian environment. I'm not going to speak globally, because problems are relative in the MSME sector. Now, Nigeria specifically, I often categorize MSME challenges into two. We have what I call the external challenges, and we have the internal challenges. External challenges are problems that are way beyond the MSMEs. External challenges, we talk about infrastructure. You wouldn't expect MSMEs to be the ones to build roads. You wouldn't expect MSMEs to be the ones to provide electricity. You wouldn't expect MSMEs to be the ones to provide security. Those are beyond MSMEs. Those and others are actually beyond MSME control. So they are external to MSMEs. And when you look at such problems, you realize that the differences between MSMEs in developed countries and developing countries are more tied to those issues. You see, cultural limitations, cultural problems are basically issues that MSMEs would need to overcome. Then, secondly, is the issue of skill, which also is a bit tied to mindset, where people don't understand the need for them to develop their skill. The world has fast become a global community, a global village. If you are producing something in Nigeria, there's a tendency that they are the imported version of the products of the goods you are producing. And if you don't have the technical know-how, when we talk about skills, we have, when we talk about skills, we have soft and hard skills. Hard skills are the technical know-how. Even the soft skill, the ability to sell, the ability to move your products to the market, the ability to convince people to buy your products. Those are skills that need to be developed too. So if you have entrepreneurs that do not understand the need for them to continuously develop their skills, the problem is that they become less competitive. And that is the reason why, apart from the issue of access to finance, as far as I'm concerned, stands on the border between external and internal problems. Because I tell so many entrepreneurs, there's money outside there for you to get, but your internal challenges have prevented you from accessing those credits. So I often have a problem with people that think access to finance is an external problem. It is not. It is internal, because once the person that is bringing the money, the funding, realizes that your skill is not up to date, the tendency is for him to take his credit somewhere else.
Thank you so much, sir. Let's quickly go on this break. We'll be right back. Is Let's Talk on DNT Work. And I've been speaking with Mr. Olusegun Dada. He is the CEO and team leader, Ideas Center Faculty. So let's enjoy the ride with us as we continue on the show. Thank you so much, sir, for standing by. Now, how then can we strengthen the MSME ecosystem? Or what are the things that can be done to actually strengthen it from the stakeholders and everyone that matters?
The truth is, both practitioners and government have a lot to do. Government, in the first place, would need to provide the necessary infrastructure and a well-structured regulatory environment and good security for MSMEs to thrive. And again, talking about the MSMEs themselves, I think there is a need for sound skill development, innovations that comes more by exposure. A lot of MSMEs are not exposed. They're not even exposed to the immediate environment. Talk less of the international or a further environment from them. So there need to be a concerted effort by government. But I think really that government has a lot of role to play in this case. We need that environment that makes it so impossible for any entrepreneur to blame the environment for non-performance. That is, once power is made available, imagine a an ordinary shoemaker, an ordinary cobbler that relies on light will have to go to filling station to buy petroleum for his generator. Generator packs up sometimes. Sometimes he doesn't even have money to buy this generator. And once that problem is well taken care of, then focus will now be on strengthening the capacity of MSME operators, of business operators. How do we strengthen their capacity by developing technical and vocational education and training sector? That's the TVET sector. What we have in the TVET sector today is nothing to write home about. And the truth about the TVET sector is that without government, TVET sector will find it somehow difficult to operate, because it's a very expensive sector to go into, for the private sector to venture into. Why? Because to buy equipment, updated equipment, new equipment that will teach skills to these nano micro businesses is not cheap. So, and the capital outlay is so massive that recouping your investment in that sector is a tough one. It's usually a very tough one. So that is where we think government should take the lead. How do we encourage MSMEs how do we encourage people to even go to the MSMEs and work? I'll also give you this. There must be a concerted effort to make the public sector a lot less attractive for our young ones. Maybe because of the security of work, security of labor security in the public sector. A lot of people are attracted there. And then corruption, again, makes the public sector a lot more attractive. So the moment the public sector is not made as attractive as it is today, as compared in relative terms to the private sector, I think a lot more people would put more attention in working and developing entrepreneurial skill to manage MSMEs. So all in all, because it is very difficult for you to tell an MSME to develop skills while the external environment is in total shambles. So all in all, government will definitely have need to help in developing that environment, and they have to take the lead. They have to take the lead in developing that environment.
So what's your agency doing to strengthen the MSME ecosystem or to enlighten the business owners?
Thank you very much for that. This is in projecting our own organization. We are the Innovations Design Entrepreneurship Advancement Strategies company in Abuja. We're all over Nigeria. We are more into providing a platform for the interaction between experts in enterprise development and entrepreneurs themselves. When we talk about expertise in this case, we are talking of people with practical experiences in the enterprise sector that brings them to bear in developing other entrepreneurs. So we are special. We are special in the sense that we are not just trainers, we are also practitioners. Every of our faculty are business owners in their own right. So we don't just bring theories to bear. We mix theories with practicals and help in developing entrepreneurs. And what we also do is to provide them a platform for interaction. We have a networking platform that we use to enable enterprise owners to network, to share challenges, and in sharing challenges, they develop mechanism in fighting or in confronting those challenges, both external and internal. We work with a lot of government agencies, especially in the area of access to finance. Why do we say that? We do not just present people for access to finance without first developing their competencies. If you remember what I said earlier, that the biggest challenges are to the entrepreneurs are internal to them. So what we seek to, we are not focused on the external challenge. There's a way we do that indirectly by providing that platform for entrepreneurs to collaborate, to network, to discuss issues. Then we now encourage them to form interest groups like associations, like cooperatives, that will be able to face those external challenges on their own.
Okay, thank you so much for that. I would have to cut that short because you're actually running out of time. Just for me to quickly push this in, how do we now harness the prospect and opportunities embedded in MSMEs now that with your agency, you're doing everything possible to shift the mindset of business owners to becoming entrepreneurs, putting everything together, like considering everything that matters when it comes to this word called ecosystem?
Thank you very much. In harnessing that, the potentials of that environment, I think we have to focus on the youth population. Nigeria is a has potentials on the two sides, negatively and positively. And our ability to quickly do something along that line, in that sector, the youth, in that demography, that is the youth, that makes up 70%. People under 30 in Nigeria are over 70% of the Nigerian population. And it is increasing by the day. Why it is increasing is another topic entirely. But for us to harness the potential of the MSME environment, I think we need to focus on our youth. The more the youths that are brought into the MSME environment to become entrepreneurs, mind you, I distinguish between entrepreneurs and business owners. The ability for us to introduce them into something viable, something positive, value creation environment, the better for us. And that is when the potentials in that demography will become positive. A lot of our youth need to be brought down to basics. We need to change their mindset from consumption to production. We need to change their mindset from fast money, from quick money syndrome, to knowing that, look, there is a process to making money. And in that wise, we bring them in. And now I will have to say this quickly. When we talk about entrepreneurship does not basically mean that you are working on your own. You can be working in a business and be the entrepreneur within that business, within that organization. It doesn't mean that you have to own an organization, because entrepreneurship is a mindset. It's a mindset of value creation. It's a mindset of production. It's a mindset of problem solving, of solving problems around you. The moment the mindset changes to that, oh, there's no light in my community. How do I get light across my community? There is no food. How do I produce more food for people to feed? People are working on bad roads. How do I repair the roads and all those stuff? Then you move the mindset of the youth to that productive and value-adding mindset. And by so doing, the entrepreneurship environment, the enterprise environment, the MSME ecosystem becomes more vibrant, becomes more productive, and at the end of the day, Nigeria becomes the better for it.
Thank you so much, sir. It's been wonderful having you on the show.
Thank you very much, Adejoke.
And to you out there, thank you too for being part of the show. Ensure rather that you actually watch this video over and over to be able to get basically an idea that could help you further the course of your career in life or your financial freedom. Until next time when I come your way again with another topic, I remain Olujoke Misako. Bye for now.